that has never been in contact with any particular law enforcement court system. And from what I can see and what I hear out here from a lot of my Black male, and I'm sure it's common knowledge, is that because they are unfamiliar with the court system, they don't know, number one.
Traveler. Okay.
All right, folks. Today we got a sovereign citizen in court, and believe it or not, he actually asked for an attorney this time. Progress? Maybe. But don't get too excited, because he's still fully locked into that sovereign citizen mindset. This guy was caught driving without a license, had a plate that literally just said traveler. And of course, because it wouldn't be a sovereign citizen case without it, he resisted arrest. Now, here's where it gets even weirder. The interaction between him and his attorney is, let's just say, unexpectedly touchy. I don't know what's going on there, but it's definitely not your average courtroom dynamic. Let's dive into this one. It's a wild ride. And seriously, let me know what you think about the attorney situation too, because I can't be the only one raising an eyebrow here.
She and I have already discussed it on this case, and we just both want you to hear the PC, if we can, Judge.
Okay.
And then on the bond reinstatement as well, Judge.
So officers initiated a traffic stop in Harris County, Texas for a vehicle having a fictitious plate bearing the word traveler on it. During the stop, the defendant refused to provide...
Traveler. Okay.
During the stop, the defendant refused to provide ID or insurance information, stating, "I do not consent to this." Officer attempted to remove the defendant from the vehicle, and defendant actively resisted by pulling his arm away from deputies until he was detained.
Okay. Tell me what.
So we looked at, Madam Prosecutor, the interference with duties of public servant, Your Honor. Even if my client is failing to give them that, then it is an arrestable offense. But in this situation, it is, Judge. However, in this particular situation, he didn't interfere with anything in terms of his own arrest. I can, if it was a resisting or something to that effect, I can.
They're just trying to get him out of the car.
I don't disagree.
It's classic sovereign case where got the license plate, think that traveling by right is what I think how they term it.
In this situation, Judge, and the reason I'm employing upon the court is, even from what Madam Prosecutor has seen on the video, they're pulling and tugging at his arm, which put my client in some fear. It was more than one officer. It was pretty.
But he still has a duty. If they're asking you to come out, they can lawfully do that. And there are videos, and go on YouTube, right? There are hundreds of videos where officers will literally destroy your car to get you out. When you get into a pissing match with a person who has the power of arrest, who's going to win, Mr. Daly?
We don't disagree, Your Honor.
Right. You know what I mean? That's real life.
We don't disagree, Your Honor. I think under the circumstances of what actually happened, it was not Mr. Daly's position to resist or to interfere. That was not. He was concerned for his safety at that point. And actually, I don't know, did you hear that on the video? Right. And so in reviewing the video, it was pretty quick, pretty brash. They didn't give him an opportunity to respond per the prosecutor. In this situation, it wasn't as if he was intentionally.
Remember, this is just a mere probable cause.
Yes,
so
I agree.
They ask you to come out of the car one time. Yeah, it's really, that's, so, I think that there's enough probable cause to go forward now. The problem is, Mr. Daly, is that we revoke your bond. Your bond is set at 2501, and you've continually failed to appear. So, the case and the way that you've treated us, it shows me that you just refuse to accept authority. How are we supposed to deal with that? How do we deal with that, Timberland?
Your Honor, the only reason I bring to your attention is I asked the court to take into consideration, we have a Black male works every day who, and I hate to put that on the court, but I do in this particular climate, that has never been in contact with any particular law enforcement court system. And from what I can see and what I hear out here from a lot of my Black male, and I'm sure it's common knowledge, is that because they are unfamiliar with the court system, they don't know, number one. Number two, when they do come in contact with police, and my mother is assistant chief of police, so I can understand, even when I was younger, I was taught that there are certain things that you have to do with when a police officer even stop you on a speeding ticket. What we don't know is whenever these officers come up, when you're somebody who don't have the privilege of having a police officer as a parent, or who isn't familiar and is being raised in this particular climate and seeing what they see on TV and seeing what they hear and everything that has occurred, you don't know what the proper steps are. I was trained from when I was grown up what you do. I'm not saying that what he did was right or wrong. I'm not saying that how he reacted to this particular court, it is wrong. However, I'm employing upon the court to ask the court to take into a little bit of consideration, number one, from his perspective.
Are you serious right now? My attorney is actually out here pulling the race card. And honestly, that's not even the craziest part. Like, yeah, she's doing that, but at the same time, she's practically smothering me like I'm some kind of sovereign baby. I mean, is this my lawyer or my mom? Because the way she's hovering, it's wild. I'm sitting there thinking, has anyone ever seen a lawyer act like this in open court? Let me know if you have, because I sure haven't. And the argument she's making, that the police didn't have probable cause? Come on. They literally told me to get out of the car. Newsflash. When the cops say step out, and they've got even a halfway decent reason, you're supposed to comply? And yeah, I had a plate that said Traver on it. That should tell you exactly where my head was at. That I get it. Sovereign citizens like me have some unique views. But even I know Judge Fair isn't going to go easy. That man does not hand out breaks. And considering I skipped court like I was above the system, yeah, I already know how this looks. Now here we are, acting like none of that happened and just tossing around a race car like it's going to magically fix everything. There's just no way this is working. Let me know what you guys think about this whole mess. But more importantly, what do you think about my attorney? Because the way she's acting, I swear this has to be my mom in disguise or something. It's just too weird.
Defendants, can't just say this, but I do see that, from what I've known from this particular case and now in talking to him, I do believe that there is a sense of sometimes they just don't know. Sometimes they just don't. So I'm asking to reinstate his PR bond. I am now on the case. What you know about me, I'm a tight attorney. I run a tight ship. So, and by which of way I believe I can reach him and getting him to court and resolving this matter, which is what I talked to the prosecutor about when you were on break. It's like, let's just resolve this. Let's take care of this.
I'll buy it.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
I'm not going to do this again, though. I promise you. I don't care whoever you have. If you flake on us again, that's 3 times. It's out. I'm not going to do it again. Do you understand, Mr. Daly? I mean, when you come to court, good things happen. When you don't show up and you continually do it, you can't expect good things to happen. Now, do you have a Texas driver's license?
No, right now.
You're not allowed to drive.
Right.
You have a bond condition and you've signed an affidavit with me today promising you're not going to drive. I don't care how you term it. Driving, traveling, however you're going to word it, whatever you do not get into the driver's seat of an automobile, a motorcycle, anything with a combustible engine where you can get on the road unless you have approval from us. Do you understand? I don't care that you have to work. I don't care if you have to go to church. I don't care if you're going to a funeral. I don't care if you're going to wherever it may be. Do not drive. Do you understand? Heed this warning. You're not going to get another one. Okay, Timberly, I'll reinstate the bond.
Thank you, Your Honor. And I'll talk to her. We were going to try to talk to Chief, but it's pretty busy today.
I think the case is only 3 months old,
Yes,
so you've got time. You can do whatever you want.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Judge.
Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance. You don't have to waste your time coming to court now, but you must stay in touch with her and she'll tell you when you got to come back to court. If she comes back and tells me she can't get a hold of you because you're playing games or you've gone AWOL or whatnot, or you get arrested for something else, all bets off. We good? I'm not asking for much, man. Really. And for future reference. When you get into a pissing match with someone with the power of arrest, you are nearly always going to lose. It's just the way it works. And as a young black man in today's society, you got to be extra special careful because things can go really wrong really quick. And there's evidence of that over and over and over.
All right, this might be a hot take, but I'm honestly disappointed Judge Flair didn't hit this guy with the book. Look, I'm not saying we need to go full law and order on every sovereign citizen case, but come on, this dude skipped court, resisted arrest like his life depended on it, and was driving around with a license plate that looked like it was made in Microsoft Paint, in most situations. Failing to appear in court can bring additional charges, or at least a contempt warrant. And resisting? That's a whole separate charge that usually stacks onto everything else. This case practically screamed for a tougher sentence, but instead, he got what I'd call a slap on the wrist. Let me know what you think, because personally, I think Judge Flair went way too soft here. Now, I still can't get over how that attorney completely smothered him in court. That's honestly one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. I've never seen this attorney before, and I don't know what her usual style is, but that was just plain unprofessional in my opinion. I mean, yeah, this happened in Texas, and maybe that's just how they roll down there? I don't know. If anyone from Texas is watching, please let me know if this is normal, because I'm genuinely confused. The defendant barely even said anything. His attorney did most of the talking for him. She even pulled the race card, which in this context just didn't make any sense to me. And look, I'm not racist, not at all. But I still think dropping the race card in a case where the guy literally had a homemade traveler license plate is just wild. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up here, because honestly, watching this guy operate is making me lose brain cells. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe for more content like this. And definitely let me know in the comments what you thought about that attorney. That's the part one really want to hear your thoughts on.